Welcome to the Shadowwood Golf Genius Seminar presented by the Shadowwood Country Club professional staff. This show is going to show league managers how to run their groups using the new Golf Genius software, which is the software that has been partnered with the United States Golf Association. So to get started, we ask that all the league managers or group leaders come to the golf shop to fill out the league manager form with the professional staff. And this is also an opportunity to answer any questions that you may have. When you're at home using the Golf Genius software, we do recommend that you use Google Chrome, which is an internet browser that is recommended by the USGA, and this runs Golf Genius the best. We're going to go over various Golf Genius functions in this presentation, which is going to really show you how to control all the aspects of the league or group all in one place. We're also going to talk about some of the Golf Genius terminology, leagues, rounds, events, and the roster, which will keep your groups very organized with this software. And then at the end, once you feel comfortable enough, we do recommend doing a test round just for practice to really feel comfortable with the software. Just to give a brief history of Golf Genius partnered with the USGA back in 2017 and is now the USGA's partner in their tournament software. Once you fill out the form in the golf shop with the professional staff will set up a few things on our end, and you will receive an email confirmation letting you know that you are now a manager of your group. And you will receive an email similar to the one you see on the screen now, which will provide a link to get you started, and all you need to do is click on the link. Once you click on the link, you will be directed to this screen here, and it will ask you to create a permanent password. And all you need to do is fill out the password in the re-enter password areas, and that will be your password for Golf Genius. Your login will be the email address you provided to us. Once you've created a permanent password, you'll be directed to the home screen, also known as the event portal. And this is unique to your league, so only the players in your league can see certain things on this event portal. So it's unique to the league, and you can send to the league players via email the web address you see at the top of the screen. Obviously, it will be customized to your league. And at the top of the screen, you'll see there's a league toolbar, which will give you access to tee sheets, results from different days, player statistics, as well as a social area for picture posting. On the right-hand side, you'll also see that there's a manager toolbar, which will bring you back to the administrative side of Golf Genius. So once you've played around with the event portal, we invite you to go to the toolbar and return to the manager site, which will bring you to the back-end software of Golf Genius, where you can start setting up all of your league essentials. Now we're going to take you to the manager site of Golf Genius, which will show you all the popular areas of Golf Genius. Feel free to rewind and rewatch the videos at any time.
Once you're able to navigate to the main screen for the league, the first thing you'll want to do is go into the golfers category. From here, you have a few different options. We can manually add the players to the roster. So if we click on that, you can go through, you can add them by first name, last name, email, and GIN number. And if you go through and do that, you should be fairly successful in setting it up. You do have a few different options from there. You can also already have them loaded into a spreadsheet, and you can upload the spreadsheet into your Golf Genius account. And there as well, you'll be able to have all of the players in your league set and ready for an event. Once you enter your players manually or through uploading a spreadsheet, you will then have a league roster. And if we click on the league roster, we can see all the players in our league. Just because they're on your roster does not mean they have to play every week. So you would want to add in any person that would be potentially joining your league or playing along with your league. It could be 1 week, or they could play every single time you have a game together. Again, the biggest thing here is we want the first name, last name, and GIN number when you're inputting them into your league. Our next order of action is going to be setting up the calendar. So if we simply click on the calendar, and then we can either hit display calendar or add rounds. We're going to hit add rounds here. Now from here we have a couple different options. We can simply click on the days that you know you'll be playing. So if your group plays every Monday, you can go through up to a year in advance and click every Monday and have your rounds already preset for the whole season. Or we can simply come down to the start date. If we click Monday, September 3rd and end date, so if we go to August 26th of 2019, which is a Monday, so we're going to go to Mondays, and we're going to hit save. And as you can see, it is creating rounds for every single Monday throughout the year. Perfect. So we have 52 rounds. So if your league plays every Monday, for example, we would now have it all set for the whole season. And from here, you can click on the round name, and if you just want to give it the date, you can simply go 9/3/18, and it'll save for you. And we can go through and do that with every round we create. Alright, I also want to touch base on one of the perks that we believe is going to be most successful for the leagues and easiest for the league managers, and that's going to be your round signups. So as long as we have our correct round down, we can go to open signups, and we are going to send invitations. And then once we're there, it's going to send an invitation to everybody in your league who has a valid email address. So you're going to want to make sure everybody you put in your league, you have their email address in there. And then we can simply put, please click on the link to sign up for this week's game. And you can do this as far advanced as you would like, and when it sends out the email, it's going to have in the header what round it's for or what week it's for. And then once we do that, we're going to click send, and it will send it out. I'm not going to do it right now because again, it's going to send it to all the people that have created my league, and it's not an actual league at this point in time. But that is a huge benefit. And then as people accept the invitations, it will put them in your round, and then as well as you can close this sign up. So if you want to put your requests into Chelsea 5 or 6 days in advance, you could send this email out 10 days in advance, and then you could close the sign up 6 days in advance, and then you would have all your players for this round that would like to play. Once we send out our invitations, at any time you can log on to your Golf Genius, and again, make sure you're under the correct round that you set up. And then at that point, under the rounds tab, we can go to round player roster. Currently you can see players not attending. There would be another screen that says players attending, but if somebody accidentally sends you an email and says, hey, I want to sign up for this week, you can just go ahead and check them, and you can mark them as attending, and hit go. And again, now you can see the confirmed players. And as they accept your email request, they would as well go into the confirmed players. But again, this is just another way to do it manually in case somebody says something in passing or you don't have their email yet. You know, if I didn't have Todd's email, I can mark him as attending and go. And again, if somebody wanted to cancel, you could mark them. Mark is not attending and go. And additionally, you know, as we have all these confirmed players here, once you put your requests in and you have your tee times, you could check all the confirmed players, send an email, you know, adjust your header and everything, and then you could put the tee time email right in here. As a matter of fact, you could send out the tee sheet as well. So all your communication via email can go right through Golf Genius as well. If you have any further questions on any of this, as you start progressing, the professional staff will always be around to help you out. So once we have our calendar created, we can start planning our rounds. So if we go to the round tab up here and click on it, on the left hand side here, you can see you can go through all of your rounds. Obviously we will want to concentrate on our round one, our first round coming up, and we're going to start planning this round. So once you click start planning the round, we have a couple different options from here. We can create new pairings, is what I would recommend. So if we go in and create pairings, and then we're going to manually create the pairings for this round. As you can see, it brings up everybody in your league. I like to sort by last name just to make it easy, and then you can simply click on, if you have a threesome, we're going to create that pairing, and then maybe we have a foursome and we're going to create that pairing. And then we have another foursome, and we're going to create that pairing. You also have the option, let's say you already have your league set up and you have a guest coming in for the week of a member or of yourself. You can just hit new golfer and then go ahead and you go through the whole last name, first name, email, handicap, and gym. And then obviously click on the box, say you're authorized to confirm this. We're not going to do that right now. But as you can see, we have 3 pairing groups set up. We have a threesome and then 2 foursomes. So we're going to go ahead and click next. And then we're going to hit continue. And from here, our pairings have been created, and it looks like we're in good shape. So another useful tool that we have, very useful tool, is once you have your league set up, we can go under the Golfers tab, and if you go to the bottom right, you see a multi-round analysis. You can see how many times players have been together, played together in multiple rounds, what tee times they've had, the courses they've played, how they played on the courses, and as well as at the end of the season or at any point, you could export all the scores and see how each player is performing against the field or against their handicap. But I think the most useful is this players' times together. So if you have somebody in your league mention, I played with so-and-so this many times, you actually have a tool that you can look up and see how many times these players have played together. And from there, that can help you in your future rounds putting people together. And also throughout the league, you can set up restrictions on how many times players have played together as well. If you have any more in-depth questions on this, we'd be happy to answer them as a professional staff. So again, we're back to our pairings here. And we are going to go ahead and we are going to set the course and the tee for each person. So what we're going to do is we can just click on each group over here, and we can go to the drop down menu, and let's say everybody is playing the North Course white tees. So we're going to select that. All 18 holes. So if you're only doing 9, you could select that, but we're going to go all 18, and we're going to hit go. Alright, and let's say a couple players maybe want to move up to the golds. We can select them individually just by clicking on their name, and from there we're going to go to the drop down menu. Again, we're going to make sure we're on the North Course. We have 3 different courses we can choose from, and then we're going to hit go. And as you can see, it adjusted those players. You can just hover your mouse over each player's name and it'll tell you what tee they're playing. Additionally, over here on the right hand side, it'll give you an idea of what tee they're playing as well. And from there, you always want to make sure we hit save pairings every time you do something. All it's going to do is just update it and make sure it's saved. If you try to navigate away from the screen, it'll give you a little pop-up saying, are you sure you want to leave without saving the pairings? And you'll go back and you'll hit save. Alright, so now that we have all of our pairings set and we have all of our tees confirmed, we are going to go through and we are going to set tee times. From here, Shadowwood can be a little tricky since we do a crossover, but let's say your first 2 groups, we're going to play the front 9, and we're going to start at 7:48 with the first group, and the second group will be right behind it. Our interval is already set, and they're going to go off a hole 1, which we can see over here, and we're going to click go, and you can see it automatically change 7:48, 7:57 hole 1. But let's say our middle group is going 7:48 hole 10, so we have them, and we're going to click go, and as you can see, it has changed 1, 10, 1, 7:48, 7:48, 7:57. Again, we're going to make sure we hit save pairings from here, and perfect. We are all set with our pairings. We have our course and tees, and now we have our tee times and the holes they're starting off on. Before we navigate away from the pairing sheet, I just want to go over a few quick things from you. This is our toolbar down below here. It helps us do a lot of things. We can swap players. If you hit swap players and you have somebody that needs to change over, or you're moving tee times around, we're just moving everything around here. We can even swap pairs, so if you have the first 2 players and you want to switch them, You can go through and do that. So that works. And then we can swap pairings. So if your first group for some reason has to switch down to the last group, we can see that as well. They're going to change times there. And we can just kind of flip them. You'll notice over on the right, when you swap players, swap pairings, or swap pairs, it does not affect your time or your whole assignment. It will take into consideration what tees they were playing in, and we'll switch the tees over. And then there's a couple more functions down here. We could, let's say you had somebody, one of your players from your roster, you were able to get that last spot filled in. You can just simply come in to add player. All the players on your roster will appear. We can click on the player we want and the spot where he's going. But then from there, we just have to make sure we set the course and tee for that player. So if he goes to the north white, and we're going to hit go, and all set. What I would recommend you do is set up a fake round and really get used to this pairings page. You can kind of play around, see all the different options you have. There's a ton of really good features you're able to do through this pairings page, and it can be a little overwhelming at first, but if you just spend some time on here and kind of play with everything, you're not going to hurt anything if you're in a round you made up, so feel free to just get really familiar with it. So once we have all of our pairings all set, we're going to go to rounds again, and we can email the tee sheet, or we can send an email. There's a round communication center down here. That's up to you. Some people like to do that. Some people like to set up their own emails and go through it a different way. But if that's something you'd like to do, I'm not going to click on it right now because it'll send emails to everybody I have set up. But from here, we are going to go into tournaments. For each round, you're going to add a new tournament. And then from here, I would, just depends what you have going on. We can do a Stableford, you know. You can do a match play, or you can do stroke play. So most of the time you're going to go with stroke play. Again, either player against field, pair against field, or foursome versus field. I like to just keep it on player versus field. Own ball on each hole, 18 holes. And here, you are able to set up, you know, the percentage of handicap you would like somebody to get. So if you wanted everybody at 90% because you're playing two best ball, this is where you would come in and type in 90%. And then we can save. Perfect. We have our tournament all set up. Player versus the field. We're going to go 90%, and we're good to go. All right, once we have our tournament defined and set up, we're going to go back up into rounds. And at this point, we can print scorecards. This scorecard printing feature is really good. You can either work through it your own way here. We have the pairings. Obviously, you can check if you only need to, if you need to maybe reprint a pairing, or you want to do all of them. From there, you have format. It's going to put you in a basic pairing scorecard format. Or we have quite a significant amount of customer library scorecards, so we already have these built. we can go into our 2 best balls. Since we're playing 2 best balls, we're going to hit load. Perfect. So it went ahead and loaded it. As you can see, it's already preset with everybody. Gives you the course, hole, time, and your league name. Again, you can change any of these if you want. So maybe we don't want the league name here. Maybe we want, you know, the round. What round it's going to be. So that doesn't get you confused. If you do that, you have the round. We're just going to hit save. Always make sure you hit save. Now, just because you hit save over here doesn't mean that it saves your changes on the scorecards. So if you could do us a favor, and please just don't save it in the library. So that'll change our formats. So only hit save over here on the right hand side. We can go over to handicap. From here you can see you want the total course handicap, before adjustment or not. Would you like dots on the cards? Would you not like dots on the cards? So we're able to do a lot of different things. I like to keep everything on here. We have the dots. You can see what the player's handicap was, and then obviously they're only getting 90%. So you can see the adjustment in case anybody has any questions. You know, you can give them what their initial handicap, and then you're playing at 90% because you're playing 2 best balls. Again, we have a lot of different options here. We can choose what tees we want to show. Maybe we don't want to show each for each pairing group, so you hit that. I prefer to, because then it'll put what tees they're playing next to their name. Maybe we don't want to include a signature line. Maybe we do. You can do column for initials. Maybe you don't. Just include initials, so that gives you your initials. Logos, you can kind of change the size of that Shadowwood logo down there. Just be careful. The more information you put on the scorecard, the bigger the scorecard gets, obviously. And then our fonts and colors, again, you can tinker around in here and kind of go through, save things. But once you have everything set up to your liking, you can hit preview. And from here, it's going to show you what each page is going to look like. Good, so we were able to get 2 scorecards on each page. So I think everything looks good here. So I'm going to hit save and print. And we're going to download the PDF here. Again, this gives us another idea. So from here, this gives you the pages you'll be able to print. You should be able to print out or grab some scorecard paper from the golf shop, or the golf shop be able to print them off for you too if you could just email over this PDF. But we can print it, download it, and if everything looks good, you just simply go ahead and hit print and go through your computer and print it off. Again, this is the scorecard function. It can be really in-depth. I would recommend setting up, again, a fake round, getting used to your pairings, and then going into the scorecards and really tinkering around in there, getting familiar with it. Same thing with the tournament settings. And from there, you would have a pretty good feel of basically the 3 main points of our Golf Genius software. Setting up the pairings, setting the tournaments, and printing off scorecards. Alright, there are just a few more things I wanted to touch on. Again, if we go into rounds and we go into enter scores, and this is something you could do right from an iPad or your phone, but we go ahead and we can enter the scores in here. So you can go through and add the scores in for your team here. And as you can see, as I'm scoring up top, it's doing a gross game up top, and then it's giving you your net scores down below. And again, makes it easy. And we can hit done. And perfect. Once we have the scores entered, you can go to display leaderboard. And again, we just have low net player versus field. So it's going to show you to par net and the total. Lastly, if we go back up to rounds, we can also post scores to Jin. So if you want to go ahead and just tell your group, you know, we're going to enter the scores in from iPad in the locker room, and we'll do the leaderboard, and then we'll just go ahead and post the scores right to Jin. So we can hit post scores to Jin. Again, if you're playing here, you're always going to want to go home, but you have home. If you're at an away course, you click away. And the tournament course will handle anytime you have a tournament, unless you play an away tournament. And then, as you can see, I've only entered scores for 4 people, so it's only going to put those 4 people in. And I would simply hit post scores. Please just remember, once you hit that, it will enter their scores for that round. So we want to make sure all of the scores are up to date and accurate.
You will notice on just about every page of the manager site of Golf Genius has a small orange button on the right hand side that says help. And this help button is always available and will guide a user to the Golf Genius knowledge base, which is an area that provides training manuals and questions to commonly asked questions, as well as some training tools, some videos, and some more manuals to help support your mission as you go through the Golf Genius site. And there's also a support link that you could contact the Florida State Golf Association if you wish. We do prefer that you talk to the Shadowwood professional staff first, and if we are not available, then you could take it to the Florida Golf Association's level there. But like I said, we are always happy to help and answer any questions you may have. On behalf of the Shadowwood Country Club professional staff, we thank you for watching this Golf Genius League Manager tutorial video. We are always here to answer any questions you may have. Please see any staff member at any time with any questions regarding any of the content or anything that you see as you're managing your league. Thank you again for watching, and have a great day.